No, I don't have a favorite song.
Who are your favorite musicians, since you have many?
Oh, I don't have favorite
Okay, so
musicians.
which musicians do you like?
Me, I listen to Love World. I don't really listen to a lot of Ghanaian musicians anyway. So I
Well,
listen to a lot of.
but there are Ghanaians who sing in Love World, aren't there?
Oh, there are Ghanaians, but you know Love World. You know Christ
Yeah,
Embassy.
there are
Yes,
Ghanaians who are part of Love World, are there
yes.
not?
But I like Love World songs basically.
Basically,
Yeah.
no other,
No, not really.
not
No,
really.
no.
Are there any of the Love World songs you can sing for us?
I'll sing for
Yeah,
you.
we've not
There's
heard
a
you sing
small
before.
cough I'm experiencing it. So if
Hey,
I
there
start,
no,
it's
there
true.
no cough
If
has
I
entered into
start,
the
there
equation.
might be a cough somewhere. So let's do it maybe tomorrow when the cough gets better.
Why tomorrow? Why can't we do it today?
Maybe next week.
Eh? Why
My
can't we do it
voice is
today?
not giving
Why are you
what it's
using cough?
supposed to
Why are
give.
you using cough as
It's
an
not an
excuse not
excuse.
to
It's
sing?
true. It's
When we want
true.
to hear you sing,
I don't want to, in a couple of days, I'll hear myself somewhere and I'm like, it's not my voice. Let it be the way I know it to be. And then you can sing.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. No wahala.
So, trending
Yeah, what's
today.
trending? What's trending today?
Kojo Sheldon is trending, and that is because he has this friend called Paradise. From what I'm getting on social media, Paradise introduces his friend Elikem to Kojo Sheldon. I think Paradise has done a couple of shoots with Kojo Sheldon Studios and all of that. I think they experienced some form of falling out. So Kojo Sheldon and Paradise are no longer so cool. Then Elikem is sort of made to replace Paradise. And Paradise makes some form of a tweet. It's like a post actually where he says, you should never introduce your friend to your daily bread, basically. We don't know what ensued between the two. And then Kojo Sheldon has also said something about Paradise sort of threatening Elikem, and that he has a lot of his secrets and he doesn't want to bring it out, but if Paradise makes a mistake, it will be so much. So the conversation around it and what people are saying is whether or not there's no form of sort of loyalty whenever it comes to entertainment and stuff like that. Because you see managers fighting with their people. You see someone say, I introduced this person to this, and then they have a falling out, and then it becomes a whole issue. But I mean, Elikem, I think, is a student. He's an undergrad at UPSA, so he's not really someone that we know, but he's someone that Kojo Sheldon has brought to sort of replace someone he was already doing some form of business with. I mean, what do you think about it?
Drama on social media.
I mean, social media is the place for drama, but do you think that you shouldn't introduce your friend to your daily bread? I mean, if there's something you're doing, because I had a conversation with someone one time about remote jobs here actually, and then he was saying, well, he can tell his friend about certain opportunities, but he can't introduce his friend to what he does for his remote job. And I asked the question, why? Why can't you? And he said, no, there was no plausible reason. It's just at the end of the day, I don't want to introduce my friend to what I do or what feeds me or what gives me extra
So that
income.
smacks of, I don't know, depending on where you sit, some would say it is selfishness because you are afraid that if you introduce your friend, probably he'll do it better than you. And when he begins to do it better than you, he'll take your daily bread away from you.
Okay.
So in order to prevent that from happening, you don't introduce him to it. That's the only rationale I can put behind the scenario that you just put across to me, that he will not introduce his friend to his daily bread. I mean, that's the only plausible reason I can come up with. And I believe that, look, if you're working hard at what you do and you're good at what you do, it doesn't matter if someone else is also doing it. I mean, once you're doing it and you're doing it well, because I believe in brightening the corner where you are.
Okay.
Right? I believe in working hard. And just like it was said in Manifest song, no shortcut to heaven.
It seems you
You'll get
really
there.
like this song.
Oh yeah, I love that song because I love the message in that song. If you work hard, right, and you find creative ways of doing your work, you find genius ways of doing your work, dynamic ways of doing your work, and staying relevant, you shouldn't really be afraid of someone coming up,
Basically,
and taking
if you
it
are insecure
because
about where
yeah,
you
are
then it
insecure
means-
about is, and if you're insecure about where you are, then it means you probably know you are not giving off your best.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah,
That's actually
you're probably
really
not giving
good.
off your best. So I mean, if there is someone in need, and you can help the person by introducing the person to a business that you do, and that person can also stand to benefit. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with it. I mean, if you do not want to introduce the person to it because you believe that the person is going to take away your daily bread, I find it problematic. I find it quite, problematic. But I mean, that's how people feel
About things like
about
that.
things like that. There's a bit of selfishness in there because they're also looking out for themselves,
Exactly.
right? And they want to be the only people, in that space and all of that. And when other people come in and they come and try and take their shine, it becomes a problem for them. And so they would like to keep it closely knit.
But don't you also think that on the other side, when someone also gets introduced to a job, they try not to do too much? I think there's this law, I don't know whether it's part of the 48 laws, never outdo the master.
Yeah, never
So,
outshine the master.
outshine the master.
Yeah.
So what if Lantam introduces me to a certain job and I know I can do better than Lantam, but I'm intentionally watering myself down because I don't want Lantam to feel better? What about that too?
Well, with that, if we start talking about that, then we're entering the realm of corporate politics because it happens a lot in the corporate world. Corporate politics, people use all kinds of tactics, to to get ahead, to get in front, to get a promotion, to occupy certain positions and all of that. And sometimes it can be very chaotic, very treacherous, very diabolic. And I don't want to get into the realms of all of that, but it happens. It does happen. It just
Yeah.
depends on how you play your cards. But what I'll say in all of this is that if you're a Christian, pray
Okay.
and trust in God
But God will
and
use
do your
men.
work well to see, and He will see. Yes, God will use men. So pray, trust in God, and He will see you through. In spite of all the corporate politics that is good, I'm pretty sure there are even people who are listening to us right now, and at the mention of this, they are beginning to remember all the things that are going on at their workplaces right now.
Yes.
Those who don't like them, those who are trying to bring them down, those who are trying to, take their positions, those who are trying to make them lose their jobs, those who are making their lives in the office very unbearable or
Yes.
very difficult. It's in every organization. Some people, they will say their bosses don't like them, or their colleague will go behind their back and go and say this, making their work difficult because they are trying to get a promotion or they are trying to get ahead. There's backbiting here. They'll come and pretend and laugh with you. I mean, corporate company office politics is just sometimes you have to play it small, because when you realize that people are trying to do things to you, sometimes you also have to step up and also play some of the politics.
Really?
Yes.
But can you play, can you be dirtier than them? Can you play?
No, not being
just like
dirty, but if
they
you, I
can?
don't like dirty company politics, right? There can be clean company politics, because if you want to get ahead and you want to find favor, which is going to give you a promotion, one of the best ways to do it is to do your job and do it well and let it be seen. You have to find a way to let it be seen that I'm doing my job and I'm actually doing it well. That's
We have a
positive.
certain complex with that as well, where trying to put yourself out there and trying to get your work
Then you
outside
attract enemies.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Within
guess
the
you'd have to
corporate
pick your poison.
structure, and then others also try and start. So I mean, it's delicate, but like I said, if you're a Christian, just trust God to see you through and protect you. If you're a Muslim, trust God to see you through and protect you. And I see some of that politics going on with this Kojo Sheldon issue, because I was there, I introduced you, now you've come and then you are taking all the shine, and then now there are threats flying around and all of that.
I don't even think it's a case of taking on a shine. I think it's more of something happened between me and the person, and now you are sort of like my replacement. If you weren't there, or I guess there's also the part of, even if there was a replacement and it's not someone I knew, then there's some form of, but it's because I'm being replaced by someone I know.
Someone
like
I know. And I
dating
brought you
someone
there.
and being replaced by your
I
best
brought you
friend.
there. A lot of
It
people.
feels some way. But there's also something going on social media.
Yeah.
Miss South Africa finalist. She's called Chidima Vanessa Onwe Adechina. I'm hoping that I'm pronouncing
Miss
her
South
name.
Africa.
Yes.
Oh, that name sounds Nigerian.
So that's where the controversy comes in. So there are people who are bashing her because she has a Nigerian father and a Mozambique mother. That's what they claim. She also says she was born in Soweto, in South Africa. But her father says he came to South Africa in 2010. Now, if he in fact came to South Africa in 2010, met her mom in 2010, wherever they were, and then they had her, then she's not supposed to be 23.
How old would she be then? 2010. How many years ago was that?
She'll be around 14.
Around 14.
But she's 23 and she has a purely Nigerian name. She has a Nigerian father, and then I think her mother's identity is yet to be confirmed, but the speculation is that she's from Mozambique.
So then
how
she's
do you
not
go represent
by-
South Africa?
So then by birth, she's not South
She's
African.
not South African.
Maybe by naturalization, she is.
Well, she said so. The Soweto-born contestant has faced scrutiny and backlash after it was revealed that her father is Nigerian while her mother is of Mozambican descent. The fallout escalated today with a heated exchange breaking out on X, that's Twitter, between some people and some social media users after she blasted the Arts and Culture Minister, Gayton Mackenzie, for saying he will look into the controversy. So I think their Minister for Arts and Culture has been asked to look into it, and she got upset about it because she claims that she was born in Soweto. She's 23, but her father also says he came to South Africa in 2010. So unless, I don't know, maybe she was born somewhere in South Africa before her father himself came there. I don't know what story she's trying to put across, but you know, a lot of people have. And the interesting thing too is that when she made it to the finals, she's actually celebrating with Nigerians because, you know, she has a Nigerian name. And it was infuriating South Africans.
Yeah, it will infuriate them because, I mean, this is Miss South Africa. You know how South Africans can be sometimes about these things, right?
Yeah.
You are not South African by descent, is what they would say. You are probably South African by naturalization.
Yes.
You know, so, but anyway, once she's South African, she has a South African passport, she's South African by naturalization. I mean, I don't think there should be anything necessarily wrong with it. I mean, when you go to the US, you know, people who are of African descent who are in enjoying various, you know, positions and largesse and all of that, they are celebrating their heritage, you know, the African heritage. Those who are from Nigeria, those who are from, you know, Senegal, those who are from wherever, even though they are American, you know, they celebrate the African heritage. So I don't think there's anything wrong, you know, with it necessarily.
Lantam, the worst form of discrimination that a black man in America, and when I say black man, I mean men, women, will suffer. We are told, and it's documented, and same holds to be true. It's the discrimination from your own fellow black people.
Yeah.
And in America, it's a big deal. Those who trace their ancestry to the trade, the slave trade, who believe that because their ancestors suffered and they were born there, they were the true black Americans.
Yes.
As against you and I, who are still on the continent of Africa and then make our way there one way or the other. So the American of African descent is an umbrella tag. When you go in there, there are people who believe that they are the true black Americans.
You know, I
Really?
think Morgan.
Oh, yes.
Morgan Freeman was in an interview one time where he said, I don't want to be referred to as an African American because I'm not an African American.
I'm an
just
American.
An American.
That's the point.
You know, and there's this influencer I listen to. She's like a social media content creator.
Yeah.
She's Nigerian, has a full Nigerian name, but she moved there when she was young. And she says sometimes when she says something, then they come for her like, you are not even really Nigerian. Why are you? But she's like, both my parents are Nigerians. I came here when I was a child. I might have an accent, but I can still speak the language. I'm still Nigerian.
But you can understand someone like Morgan Freeman because he was born there to parents who were there, who lived there, who were also, you know, born there.
Yes.
You know, and all of that, even though they may be descendants of, you know, slaves who eventually got there. Of course, we all know the story of slave trade and how Africans got to the Americas. But, I mean, he's American. America is all he has known. He's not come to Africa. He doesn't have any, apart from probably his ancestry.
But he faced backlash for making that statement. That's my point.
No, but he's an American. And I think he said that because Americans, you know, have, because of some of their systems that a lot of people would refer to as racist. They like to categorize, you know, people. Right? They like to categorize people. So those who are Caucasian call themselves Americans. But then and just Americans, but then every other group of Americans that are there who have a certain lineage or a certain descent, there is a suffix attached to their Americanness. So we have African American, Latino American, Israeli American,
Indian American. No, Israel, no.
I mean,
Israel, they are able to
no,
add them
no.
to. So I get that.
I'm trying to say,
we have the Jews.
We have
but
we have the
that's
Jews.
a different tag.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
a different
So
tag.
they have, Asian America. So they have the African American community, the Asian American community,
The Indian American, who
Indian
are
American
actually the owners of
and then
America,
you see, and then they
because-
have, they call them
the Red Indians.
No, not the Red Indians. They call them native.
Yes,
They
the
call
Native
them
Americans.
Native
Native
Americans. And then when it comes to, the Caucasians who are of European descent and all, they call them Americans. So the point of Morgan Freeman is, why do you, I'm an American, just like you,
Yeah.
right? So why do you want to call me an African American
American.
and put me in this box that, I'm African American when I am an American just like you, born and bred here. My father was born and bred here. Yeah, maybe my descendants may have been slaves, but that was a long time ago. And I don't really have any ties to Africa. Like maybe some others who were maybe born here, relocated, and I don't have those ties. I'm a true American.
And
So
your
that is the
experiences
point.
are
That is the point
even
that
difference. Like when I had
Yeah.
my hair out about 2 days ago,
Yeah.
when I came, Lantam was like, "Oh, I like your hair; it's so nice." If Lantam tries to touch my hair, I will see it as admiration.
Yeah.
A black American will see it as, you are seeing me as something strange.
Yeah, I'm
Don't
an
touch
object.
my
Yeah.
hair. I'm an object. All
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
So I think that we also have different experiences. If I went there, someone said, "I like your hair. Oh, your texture is
Yeah.
nice." I think you're admiring it,
Yeah.
but they don't have that experience.
Yeah, you see, so that's what he was essentially, trying to, and even with the Native Americans, these Europeans, left the British, relocated to America. When they came to America, they met the natives there, and those days they used to call them Red Indian or
Yes.
Indian American, but they said that's derogatory.
Yeah.
Why aren't they called Americans? Why are you calling them Native
Native
American?
Americans.
They are the real Americans because you came to their land. And you who have come from the Europe and you want to call yourself, I'm an American. But then the people whose land you came to meet them on, the aborigines, the true owners, or you want to call them Native Americans. So that's to Morgan Freeman's point. He's an American, simple and short.
The point you make about Morgan Freeman actually buttresses the point I was making about the segregation. Now, it's bad enough that the black Americans are described the way they are described as Americans of African descent.
African American.
Or African Americans.
Yeah.
It's bad enough. That's why they should not further segregate to talk about those who were born there, blacks who were born there, as being the true Americans, as against those who relocated from Africa,
And
who
have been
cannot
there.
trace their parentage to those who were taken through slave
Slavery.
trade. You get the point? Because when you talk about the bigger segregation, African Americans, good. That encompasses everybody whose color is like yours and mine. Good.
But
And
even
then
with
when
that,
you get
have
in
another
there,
conversation
Exactly.
about colorism too.
Exactly.
So,
When you get in there, they now want to tell you that, even though it's bad enough that we are all described as African Americans, we are more Americans than those of you who came from Africa,
But
who
all of-
cannot trace your ancestry to the slave trade directly. But the people like Morgan Freeman, who were born there, probably whose parents were born there, see themselves as more Americans than the blacks who relocated subsequently and became.
But I don't think that was Morgan Freeman's point.
No, I get the
No,
point.
no,
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 we are
no,
we
that
are
was
all
his
we are all
point.
saying the same thing. I'm saying
Yeah.
that what Morgan Freeman said,
Yeah.
it's right.
Yeah.
So it's bad enough that they are described as African Americans.
Yeah.
But when you get into that bad enough description, they also segregate to tell others that they are not even true Americans.
You've had that experience?
Many, and it's documented. It's documented. People who relocated from Africa.
So then what would they call Obama? Because Obama doesn't have slave
he
ancestry.
suffered that. Obama suffered the same thing.
Obama doesn't have
They
slave
said that
ancestry.
Obama was not a real American, not
his
because
father-
he was black, but
because his father was
from
Kenyan.
Kenya.
Yeah, his father was Kenyan.
They said it.
Yeah, but he's an American.
No,
And
they
he
said
be-
that's the
and
point.
he became the
they
president.
said he was not a true American. It's documented.
Yeah, they said that,
Yes.
some of those things, I don't think is very necessary.
Yeah.
If you are a Ghanaian, you are a Ghanaian. If you are Nigerian, once you have the passport and you are a citizen, yeah, you can be called, that. So if she's South African, she's a citizen of South Africa. She has a South African passport. She lives, and works in South Africa. It doesn't matter where her ancestry is from. She's a South African.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then I think that the whole point of this is that please just tell us the truth, because if you claim you were born in Soweto, but your father came to South Africa in 2010 and you are 23, can we just know how?
But has it been verified that her father came to?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Documented.
It's actually
fact.
being confirmed.
Okay.
That he is. So now we want to just know how she is South African, especially with a full-blown Nigerian name.
Yeah, maybe
like
she was.
that
Maybe
too.
she was born. Her father came to Soweto earlier and came, and gave birth and went back.
Anyway.
Or something.
So,
Or maybe her father, got her mom, and then her mom came and gave birth to her in Soweto without her father
There's no
having come
maybe
in
in
there.
this, Lantam, because it's verified and confirmed. That's how comes it's been through and dragged. So there's no maybe in this.
Well, okay.
well, Yvonne Nelson too is trending. Yvonne Nelson too is trending because a certain letter was, submitted to the embassy, French embassy, about Sarkodie being misogynistic.
Oh yeah, I saw
and
that.
all of that, and so he was not allowed to perform at the Paris Olympic Games.
Wow.
And they've also,
I think they sent a letter that
in response.
The Olympic Committee shouldn't allow Sarkodie to
Yes,
perform.
Yeah,
to
but he was not
perform.
even performing on an Olympic platform. But sorry.
And so of course,
They said they are not going to withdraw him. He will still perform because they don't discriminate.
but I don't see which part of the letter confirms that it was her or it was anyone associated with her or had anything to do with her.
Well,
or
they said
how
it's
it
her
goes.
people.
It's her people.
Yeah.
So that's just
That's what I
speculation.
heard, speculation.
But yeah, that is why she is also trending. How Akumsin is also trending. She also made certain statements. People are saying that she's not for even an MP. She's not able to express herself. Because it's election year, people would take jabs at everything.
Yeah.
I think her opponent said something about let's have a mature conversation. She said, I can give birth to you.
Yeah.
And then someone replied by saying, we are still living in an era where people think maturity is about age and all of that. Of course. And of course, I took herself forcing to trending because of the whole ambulance trial case and everything.
All right.
And finally, for our food for thought, says time and good friends are two things that become more valuable the older you get. Time and good friends are things that become more valuable the older you get.
All right. Thank you very much.